North London had become Twiggy, the most recognisable face in the world. It was 1971. Twiggy was now 22 and desperate to try new things. Right on cue came the controversial and enigmatic film director, Ken Russell.
I met Ken Russell quite early on. We became friends, and every Friday night he used to have a gathering at his townhouse in London, and they would show films. So it was like this amazing education, and films that, you know, I'd never, things like Metropolis and lots of European films, Alexander the Great and Battleship Potemkin.
I had 5 growing children at the time, and they got on famously with her. She was like a sort of elder sister. It was wonderful. And she and Justin, who was her manager at the time, used to take him out for treats. And we were one big happy family at one time.
Ken kind of opened my mind and my kind of vision to this other kind of world, really. It must have been about 68, 69. There was a revival of The Boyfriend on stage, and I went to see it.
And we were both bowled over by it. We said, hey, that has to be one of our very favourite musicals.
I didn't go to that much theatre then, but I loved this piece. 2 nights after I'd seen it, I was having dinner with Ken and Shirley. And at the end of the evening, he said, I've got a great idea. He said, let's do a musical. You can be Polly Brown, which is the girl in The Boyfriend. I'll direct it. I've always wanted to do one. What do you think? I don't know, Ken. You know, I've never acted, I've never sung, I've never danced. You know, go off to class, go off to class.
There was a phone call. Ken Russell, can you come to Metro Goldwyn Mayer? The president wants to see you today. I thought, wow, what? God, I bet they've got the film rights. And I haven't even I don't know MGM. I knew United Artists, not MGM. And so I went into the boss's office, sort of trembling, and he said, is that right that you said you were doing The Boyfriend with Twiggy? Do you know that we own the rights? And we've been thinking about doing it for years and years, but we never got the right combination. Do you think you and Twiggy could be the right combination? I said, you hit the nail on the head.
I mean, I was incredibly famous, but, you know, I'd never done a film before. And God bless him, you know, and I'll love him till my dying day for it. He stuck out for me. He would not make the film without me.
So he said, I'll give you 6 weeks. If you can get a performance out of her in 6 weeks' time, you do the film. And the rest is history.
I love the fact that he was absolutely determined to do it with her. This was not a question of a director having a star imposed on him, or looking around at a selection of actors and making a decision. I think Ken's decision to make The Boyfriend and his meeting Twiggy came simultaneously. As it were, the package, the idea of doing it, and the opportunity to work with Twiggy and Twiggy to play the lead were all of a piece. And I certainly don't think there was ever a time when Ken was going to do the film with anyone else.
To do justice to the musical itself, you had to do a great variety of steps, you know, tap, ballet, Isadora Duncanish, and I didn't know she could do all that, but she really worked night and day, you know, for 6 weeks, and she mastered the craft in that time. And MGM, when they did see her, you know, do a bit of rehearsing, they were bowled over.
She would give, I mean, I know from working with her, she would give 110%. She would not stop until until somebody said stop. And she would always be trying, always trying. And I think that's the reason why Ken would respect somebody like Twig, because there is nothing not to respect, because she is a real hard worker.
I didn't really know about her till I went over to make the film with her, and I walked into that big cold rehearsal studio, and she was in another man's arms, and he was dancing her across, and I went, so that's Twiggy. And I think I fell in love with her at that moment.
Of all the people I've worked with, she comes nearer than anything to perfection in someone I've ever met.
It's her at that moment in time, like Ken Russell said, you photograph from any angle. She's just so delicious to watch, and she's just so right for that part, and I love the light of that movie. I love that it was shot in some out-of-season old theatre in England, and